Hi, I'm Freddie Krueger, and today we're going to take a quick look at how to map a slalom course using the zero-off speed control system.
The first thing we need to do if we're going to map a slalom course is to turn the system on. You can see right here we have a very clear off on the screen, and if we tap the on-off button one time, that goes away and the system is now active and on. You can see at the bottom here we have the word slalom, and that's simply telling you the type of course. If we highlight that, we can come to the jump program, we can come to the trick program, and now we're back to the slalom program. And you'll notice that the name down here changed. It no longer says slalom, and that's because as you scroll through those bottom disciplines, it turns the auto detect on. So the course I'm on right now has a course called KT North, and this boat recognizes that that's the closest and it brings it up. But what we want to do is we want to map a new course. So what we're going to do is we're going to press and hold the menu button and bring up the menu bar across the top of the screen. Here we have a screen option, which is where you can go in there to see the diagnostic screen, the tournament screen, the the timing recap screen, all kinds of things there. This is the set option. If I can use my up arrow to highlight set, and there's where I would change the wait timer on the end of the course or help with jump letter selection. But today I'm interested in mapping, so I highlight the map button and I tap the select button. When I come here, I see that asterisk is next to KT North, and remember we saw that that course was the one that the boat looked at and said that's the closest course. But I want to do a new course, so I'm going to use my up arrow to take me here to where it says open. That means I've got a completely open course to map, and I'm going to tap the select button. When I do that, it brings me to a screen that gives me different options. I can see here the name is open, my type is slalom 6, and if I tap the select button and go into that screen, I can see the different types of courses, and so right now it's slalom 6. If I tap the select button, I can go through the range. There's a jump course, here's a waypoint, here's for an 8-buoy slalom course, a 4-buoy slalom course, and back to my 6-buoy slalom course. And so today I'm going to map a standard 6-buoy slalom course. I'm going to tap the menu button to exit back out, and I'm going to do it through live course mapping. So I'm going to use the down arrow to take me to the live course mapping option. I'm going to tap the select button, and the screen changes and says mapping a slalom 6-buoy course with differential GPS, idle through the first gate and tap select at the gate. And what that means is that for the slalom course, as you can see right here, this is our GPS receiver. On this Mastercraft, it's at the front, in front of the windshield. On most of your tournament boats, that's where you're going to find it. You're going to have one on this side, and you can see the one on the passenger side as well. Both of them are right there in front of the windshield. And so what we want to do is, as we idle through the boat gates, as that receiver passes the buoy, we're going to tap the select button. And we do that in the slalom course because you're going to go through the course in both directions. In the jump program, we do it a little bit different. We'll talk about that for jump, but we actually, because we're only going through the jump course in one direction, we do it at the pylon is when we tap the select button. But for slalom, as that GPS receiver right there passes the gate balls at both the entrance and the exit, we're going to tap the select button. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so now we're all set up, we're ready to do our mapping, and I'm out here in the lake, and there's my slalom course. Those are my entrance gates that I'm gonna drive to, okay? And as that GPS receiver passes it, that GPS receiver right there passes those gate balls, we're gonna tap the select ball. So let's get an idea of what that would look like. So I line up for the course, and I'm just simply gonna put the boat in gear and leave it in gear as I idle through. And I can look out the window right here to the right, and I can see that buoy go by, and as I approach, I prepare, I come down here, and as I pass it, I tap my select buoy. And when I do that, you can see a tracker bar comes across the bottom of the screen. Try and get this where you can see it better. That tracker bar is showing the progress as I go down the lake. As I'm idling, you can see that little, it goes from light to dark. So I've just passed the 1-ball driver balls, and now I'm coming towards the 2-ball driver balls, and it just continues to progress. Now the reason that we idle through the course is that with the GPS, an object in motion is more accurate than an object sitting still. So yes, you can idle out and stop between the gate balls and tap the select button. It should still work just fine, but we know that through movement, you have a more accurate GPS fix, and that's why we do it at an idle. Now, going through the gates at 30 mile an hour isn't going to make it any, it's actually going to make it less accurate because you're never going to hit the button at the right time. But we found that just at a light idle through the gate balls gives us the best accuracy for the system, and the programmer or the driver's the ability to tap the button at the right time. Now, you don't have to idle down the lake like I am. I'm just doing that so we can kind of talk through some of the system's requirements here. Once you've tapped the select button and you see that tracker bar come up, you can go ahead and take off and drive down the lake. Just make sure that you come back off to an idle in plenty of time for the boat to kind of settle down so that you're not rushed. As we get closer, as you can see right now, we're coming up. Those driver balls right in front of me are 6-ball driver balls, and the gate balls are beyond that. Once I pass these 6-ball driver balls, you're going to see this tracker bar gets very close to the end, and we're going to start to get a beep from the system. And you're going to hear it, there it begins. And that's going to get faster and faster and faster, right up until I come to the appropriate length of the slalom course. And go. So, had I waited just a fraction longer, you'll hear the system tone out. And if your course was, say, 3 meters long, you would hear that tone sound for, it'll go to a tone and you hear beep, and that means, hey, I know that my course is maybe a little bit long. So for all of you guys out there that are using, say, different types of courses, or you've never had your course surveyed, with the zero-off system, you can actually get a very accurate reading in terms of, is my course, is it a little bit on the short side, is it a little bit on the long side? And with the mapping, if your course is way out of tolerance, or just out of a certain amount of tolerance, it will actually tell you, hey, your course is too long and that mapping was unsuccessful. Okay, so at this point in time right now, we've now successfully mapped a course, and you'll notice that the name that the zero-off system gave the course is called Slalom 6-1, and I'm going to turn the boat here a little bit and get some shade on the screen. So we have Slalom 6-1. If I had not had any of these named courses in here, and they were all slalom courses, then this might be called Slalom 6 number 9. The reason that I name my courses is just simply because we have an auto detect feature, and there's also, like my course here in Florida, I've got 3 slalom courses on it. So I may choose to go in and manually choose a course and not want the boat to auto detect for some reason, and I want to make sure, I want to be able to see that that in fact that I'm on the right course, and we'll cover that in a later video, how to turn on and off the auto detect part of the system. So at this point in time, we have successfully mapped a course for the slalom course, and you're ready to go. The last thing we need to do is just get ourselves back out to the actual tournament screen, and to do that, we're going to use our menu button, kind of like it's the back button on a browser. If you're used to Firefox or Internet Explorer, you can tap a back button to take you back to a previous screen, and that's all we're going to do here is we're going to tap that menu button. It takes us back a screen, and we see the menu bar across the top. We're going to tap that menu button one more time, and here we are. We're back to the official tournament screen and ready to go pull someone through the slalom course.